Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Joint Metro North Long Island Committee's meeting. We would like to start off by hearing this morning's speakers. Andy?
Good morning, Chair. This morning we have 13 speakers, both online and in person. We'd like to remind everyone that speakers are limited to 2 minutes in a matter of fairness. Our first speaker will be Murray Bowden, followed by Adam Winenstein. Murray Bowden.
Murray. Oh, there he is. He's coming in. He's stuck in traffic. Yeah.
We got here fast. Where's Rob? Rob? I'm meeting with Westchester County tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and we're driving around to see the road markings. Please set up a meeting for me with your team. I'll come out to East Hampton. There are 6 railroad crossings. They all sound a horn. I think that with discussion in person with your team, I'm willing to drive out there. We can figure out a different, your team may be able to figure out a different way to warn people so that people know which crossing, because right now, when a horn sounds, nobody knows which of the 6 crossings it is. So I'd like to meet with their team. I'm meeting with Westchester. It's worth driving out there. Jano's right. Nothing works like being there in person. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Adam Winenstein, followed by Christopher Greif. We'll come back to Adam. And next is Christopher Greif, followed by Maddie W. Bucky's Highland.
Good morning. I'm Christopher D. Greif. First, I want to congratulate Rob, our new president, which I already said it at the anniversary. But I still want to thank him. It was a great event as we celebrated the 190th birthday of the Long Island Railroad. So I hope everyone gets a chance to go down there, get some history, because you know we had a lot of those kids were there. But getting to business, I want to thank the railroads because we have been working on a lot of Long Island cares, Metro North cares, and you know what? It's glad to know they're getting help and assistance. But we still need to make sure that walkie-talkies for the Metro North end, we need to make sure they have walkie-talkies. So in case of an emergency, to let them know that where the passenger could be in a platform, could be in the middle, could be in the rear, could be in the front, or it could be between the middle and the front. We know that Gesundheit, as you know, it is important. We know that Grand Central has it, but outside of Grand Central, they don't have them. Safety is very important, and also to make sure that they have the safety and we are safe as well, so the conductor can get the bridge plate out quick and keep the train running on time. So all I have to say is safety is very important for us, and we want to thank the MTA police because we have seen them responding very quickly on the Metro North New Haven line, very much. Some of my friends are saying, thank you, Chief, to please pass that word out because working together, we have to accomplish a lot. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Maddie W. Bucky's Highland, followed by Jason Anthony.
I would like to know what that kid's middle initial is. But anyway, good morning, everybody. I'm Maddie W. Bucky's Highland. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Rob Freed on becoming a permanent MTA Long Island Railroad president. Rob is going to do a great job. Second, happy Autism Awareness Month, folks. As you can see on my shirt, we have something called reduced fare. So the seniors, the disabled, the poor, for that. We also have the $1 fare for children ages 5 through 11. Children who are 12 and older who have autism should be automatically eligible for reduced fare, not applying for like a reduced fare Metro card and send it to Brooklyn at a processing facility. Facility. We have to realize, though, that that accessibility is a right, not a privilege. So we should consider for anyone 12 and older who should be eligible for an automatic reduced fare at that rate. I thank you very much, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you, Mr. Butter.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Jason Anthony, followed by Joseph Morales.
Good morning, Committee Rail meeting. Good morning, President Rob, President Kathy, and the rest of the Committee Rail meeting. Jason Anthony here once again this month. A couple of things that I want to mention. I was on the 190th anniversary of the Long Island Railroad. A lot of things that I learned that I didn't knew about the Long Island Railroad. As a matter of fact, it has been 9 years since I moved from the Florida Panhandle to live into New York City. It has been 9 years that I've been using the transit system in general. That includes both commuter rails. I have learned a lot. But throughout those 9 years, I've been bonding a lot with the MTA in general. This month, I want to thank Kathy, especially Rob. I want to thank Chief Mueller. Especially, I want to give kudos to Officer Parks, who is at Penn Station, who is doing a magnificent job over there. I want to give a shout out to the Long Island Cares over there in Jamaica, especially to Sean, who is doing a magnificent job. But we need more presence, especially that I was aware that there's going to be a huge protest at Penn Station. So, Chief, be prepared, have more presence over there at Penn Station because something might happen during the PM rush. So, guys, keep doing the great work. So, that's all I have to say for this month. I'll see you next month.
Our next speaker is Joseph Kelly, followed by Charlton D'Souza. Morales, sorry.
Okay, you said Morales. Morning, everyone. My name is Joseph Morales. I would like to begin by saying that I noticed in this month's statistics that for the Metro North West of Hudson lines, service delivered and on-time performance rates are generally lower than the rest of the lines, and there's some particularly sharp drop-offs to certain months. I understand that those lines are operated by New Jersey Transit, and they have a history, I feel like, of more like they have these days where there's like major service meltdowns that at the MTA we tend to be able to avoid. I definitely think we should work with them to develop some sort of solution, since they are offering an MTA service, and in Rockland and Orange County, their big frustration with congestion pricing is that they don't have a reliable mass transit way to get into the city. So by improving their Metro North service, we could definitely help compensate for that as much as we can. Also, I'd like to talk about the Grand Central signage project. I feel like it's very important because Grand Central is large, especially with Grand Central Madison opening just a year ago. It can be tough to navigate for New Yorkers and tourists alike. So definitely happy about that, but I feel like the MTA should also develop wayfinding plans for all large complexes such as Penn Station and Atlantic Terminal, because especially at Penn, when Penn Station access opens, and we're going to have thousands of new passengers there. The MTA should also continue posting artwork from youth like they've done at the Poughkeepsie Station. I noticed that in the book for this month. This gives people happiness when they're commuting, and it gives them pride in their home stations. A lot of times, especially with hybrid work, people aren't necessarily looking forward to going into the city. Some are, some aren't. So when they could go into the station and see that, it gives them that sense of happiness. And the pride is very important because a lot of these stations in suburban downtowns, they're basically at the center of their community, and it's the first thing a lot of people see. So I feel like the artwork is very valuable in that regard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your remarks. Next, we have Charleston D'Souza, followed by Iris Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlton D'Souza. I'm the president of Passengers United. So the MTA is playing a new con game on all of us in Southeast Queens and the Bronx. And that is the 10% monthly discounts that are being proposed. So it's bad enough you guys took away the Atlantic Ticket weekly program we had for $60, which gave us a subway and bus transfer. And then you guys raised the fares on LIRR and MTA. So the fares went up 4%. So now you're claiming to give us a 10% deduction because of congestion pricing, but that's only for a monthly ticket for the commuter rails between Zone 3 and Zone 1. So instead of paying $222, you're now paying $198. But there are no subway and bus transfers included. Why? There should be a monthly pass that people pay for like $145 for the railroad, subway, and bus, and it should include everything. That's what we should be doing. We should have a weekly pass for $45 for the railroads. You know, it should be a 7-day unlimited MetroCard. This gaslighting is really horrible. I don't know why the elected officials are not pleading with you guys for more discounts, but we at Passengers United are not going to support this proposal. It's good for now, obviously. Any discount helps. But it really has to have a city ticket weekly, a city ticket monthly, and we need a day pass. All the other cities like SEPTA in Philadelphia, they figured this out with their regional rail. Look at Chicago. They have discounts. Boston has discounts. Los Angeles has discounts. But the MTA wants people to pay $15 for congestion pricing to pull them out of their cars. Southeast Queens and parts of the Bronx are in transit deserts. But what do we get? Nothing. We're all begging for crumbs. This is ridiculous, and I oppose this.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Iris Kelly, followed by Jack Connors.
Yes, there's problems with the railroad in terms of timing and for just being able to get home. On the other night, I get around midnight, and they said there's a train at 12:04 to get to connect into Brooklyn. I get up and over, and I'm almost three-quarters way down, and then see the train pulling away. That meant a 40-minute wait for the next train out. That train that comes in 40 minutes later comes in 20 after, and then has to stay 20 minutes just to get out of Jamaica going to Brooklyn. That is terrible. That should be a time for us. Our connection from Manhattan to Brooklyn, we always had between 2 and 3. So no reason why you can't make from 2 over the track 12 and 12. That is a disgrace. It made it harder for me getting home that night, and I missed my sister ride, and I had to go extra time for them to get me home. Getting home after 2 o'clock in the morning was a disgrace. Try to think about what you're doing to people. I mean, people need to make connect. If you miss a connection, it's a huge wait time for everything else, and you get home real late. That is not good for anybody. You try to think about what you're doing to people with this connection time. You should compromise Brooklyn people because we had the longest walk over from track 2 to track 12. That is a disgrace, and think about it, what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Jack Connors, followed by Andy Pollock.
Good morning. I'm Jack Connors, Research and Communications Associate at the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee to the MTA, PCAC. First, happy 190th birthday to the LIRR. This legislative session, PCAC advocated for a slew of fare discounts for riders on the LIRR and Metro North. Riders around the system, but particularly on the commuter railroads, shared in the most recent Customers Count survey that creative fare discounts and deals rank at the top of the list of improvements that would get them to ride transit more. While we're disappointed that our proposals, creating a weekly city ticket with transfers to subways and buses, expanding fares to the commuter railroads within New York City, and extending the seniors, disabled, and Medicare discount to the AM peak did not end up in the enacted state budget this year, we're thrilled that you'll be taking action on 10% discounts for monthly tickets for the LIRR and Metro North within New York City in advance of congestion pricing. It's what the OBTA was created for as part of the original 2019 legislation. We're not giving up on the other discounts, which will increase equitable and affordable access to transit for more New Yorkers, and look forward to working with the MTA, the city, and elected leaders across both to make them a reality for riders. The sad irony is that rider reps won't be able to vote on the discounts today. Hopefully, one day that will change too. In many of our conversations over fares over the last few years, we've received the same response over and over again when explaining that senior, disabled, and Medicare-eligible riders currently cannot use their discount during the morning peak. How does that make any sense? We agree. It doesn't make any sense. We're hoping to work with the MTA board and leadership to close this legacy gap in the fare structure. We're also looking forward to working with the City Council to expand fare fares to the LIRR and Metro North within New York City and raise the eligibility threshold to 200% of the federal poverty level. There's still work to be done to make sure that all riders can afford the fastest transit available to them, and we're thankful for the strides that have been made this budget season. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Andy Pollock, followed by Dave Morandi.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
We can.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Can we reset the 2 minutes because my mic crapped out? So anyhow, restart the 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone. Andy Pollock here, Passengers United. So a couple of things I want to note for this morning. Number one, this morning, I saw a very disturbing video on YouTube about Jamaica. What's going on in Jamaica, you may be wondering? Well, the escalators and elevators are not properly working. And that's a very big problem. That's an Americans with Disabilities Act violation to not have the escalators and elevators not properly working. So I don't know if the MTA controls the escalators and elevators on the Long Island Railroad platform, but that needs to be fixed immediately. And one more thing before I conclude my remarks this morning. I agree with what our President Charlton D'Souza just said about the discount programs. This is not really a discount. It's basically a slim discount. It should be $140 a month for the city ticket. And I don't know who came up with this idea, but this needs to be reevaluated. So with that being all said, I'm here at Auburndale. I have a westbound train to catch, so I'm going to conclude my remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Dave Morandi, followed by Alita Dupree.
Good morning. My name is Dave Morandi. I live in the town of Phillipstown. I was a former mayor of the village of Cold Spring from 2015 to 2022. I'm here today representing the non-for-profit group Protect the Highlands, which was established last year to oppose the proposed fjord trail. Recently, with the assistance of your finance chair, Neil Zuckerman, a letter and photos with a link to a video were sent to the members of the committee. I'm not sure if you received it. If not, I brought hard copies with me today to share. If not familiar with the Fjord Trail, it's a 7.5-mile project which started as a simple community-backed trail to address hiker safety and has morphed into a major attraction with an elevated boardwalk and bridge. Approximately 1.5 miles of this trail runs parallel to MTA tracks and the Hudson River and is currently designed, will be on MTA property and need MTA approval. I'm here to reinforce the concerns expressed in the letter. This project is poorly designed and creates more problems than it solves. We urge MTA not to issue permits for this project. From an April 17th meeting between the MTA officials and Supervisor Van Tassel, Mayor Foley, and Mayor Winward, Supervisor Van Tassel's takeaway from that MTA meeting was that the MTA would not allow the trail along the shoreline because it would prevent planned and future maintenance. This is in an April 17th YouTube, if you'd like to take a look. This project has divided our small community and it's pitted friends against friends, and huge amounts of monies will be wasted from both those defending and opposing it if allowed to continue. If MTA's intention is to deny the use of its property for this project, then I urge you, please make that intention public immediately. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Alita Dupree, followed by Adam Wittenstein.
Thank you. Good morning to the chair, Sam and Blanca. Alita Dupree, for the record, she and her with Team Folds can talk about railroad today. I did read over the metrics. They're looking good. I think we're tracking about 75% now on maybe 80% on our ridership compared to pre-COVID, so that's good. We want to get more people on the train. I got to add to that a couple of times last week on both railroads. And it looks like our safety is doing okay, and I used escalators and elevators. Didn't run across any inoperative equipment, so that's helping me to navigate the system, especially in Grand Central Madison, doing those big escalators, and I'm afraid of escalators, and I did fine. One reason I go to Grand Central Madison is one is to do the big escalators, and also it's our house. It's the MTA house, Grand Central Madison, so I want to be a part of that. But I think about Eclipse Day. What brings me back? The day before Eclipse Day, I was walking toward Grand Central Terminal, and the clock was about to strike 9:29, and I took a picture of it. Reminded of Jeff Lynne's Last Train to London, mention of 9:29. I came back the next day to take the picture of the clock inside the main concourse. And but in thinking of that, I did get to go to Stamford because I have to have some Metro North, and I did have a couple of Metro Norths, and also some Jamaica and Flushing and Woodside. But this is not just about the means to the end, but enjoying the journey. And so I just said this as I was going through the tunnel, Park Avenue tunnel into the light. I got right down the line. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Adam Wittenstein, followed by Jesse Figueroa. Please unmute your microphone. You should be able to do so now. Current speaker is having technical difficulties. We'll go to Jesse Figueroa and return to him now.
Morning, everybody. Jesse Figueroa here, U.S. Army veteran and member of the Long Island Railroad's Accessibility Task Force. I'm here to say that keep up the good work, and especially to the MTA police to crack down on fare evaders on the railroads, and congratulations to Rob as president of the Long Island Railroad. I was happy to be at the 190th anniversary of the Long Island Railroad. I'm very pleased. And other than that, accessibility is our highest priority, as well as safety. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker will be Michael Cohen, followed by Andy Quito.
Hi, my name is Michael Cohen, and I applaud the efforts of the MTA to connect Metro North to Penn Station and provide more access to commuter rail and to increase the number of train stations in the Bronx. However, I question why the city ticket is not valid during the week. Like, there's an off-peak and on-peak fare for the train, but like on the weekends, it's cheaper to travel between stations if in New York City. And I wonder why the same is not true during the week. And I'm thinking like there has to be an option, there should be an option to have cheaper fare for New York City during the week. Maybe a little more than the weekend city ticket, but I think it should be the same throughout the week. I think that you should be able to get a city ticket for any day during the week, so that it always costs less to use the state's train in the city. And I was wondering when the railroads will get Omni support, like when you can finally start using Omni on the train. Like, it was initially promised that Omni would be rolled out on the Long Island Railroad and Metro North. And I don't know what's delaying that, but it's been a couple years since Omni has been fully rolled out on the subway and buses. And I don't know why it hasn't yet come to the railroads yet, and why that's delayed. So I would appreciate knowing the reason for that.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Andy Quito, followed by Jack Nuremberg.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for putting me ahead of person. So yeah, you guys pushed me around again to all the way to the back of the line. But yeah, let's get onto the Long Island Railroad. Why are the escalators and elevators are broken at that station? But this is just absolutely despicable for a main station like Jamaica. Escalators and elevators broken everywhere, and we got homeless just hanging around. A lot of them are mentally ill. Why you guys don't partner yourself with the Port Authority to get them out and get everything fixed up? It's just completely unacceptable. And there's a lot of creepy people that hang around there, including Pine Power Ally, John Mitch, hanging around there, creeping out, just like they did yesterday. Got to go to 129 Lincoln Avenue. You got to go and get this. It's just very, very unacceptable. Very, very creepy. These guys just hanging around too much. So yeah. Lastly, we got to get to the 10% discount. It's just another con way to screw us over. It should be $145 a monthly city ticket. And why are you charging peak city ticket for? It should be $5, just like the predecessor, the Atlantic ticket. You guys are just absolute a mess. You guys are corrupt. You guys don't care about the riders, and you guys are destroying the car culture with this congestion pricing. I'm against it. I'm against all these discounts. Reevaluate it and make it better. Thank you for your time. Get John Mitchell arrested. Free Palestine and Trump 2024.
Thank you for your remarks. Our next speaker is Jack Nuremberg, followed by Adam Wittenstein.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jack Nierenberg. I'm the Vice President of Passengers United. First, I do want to say a very happy birthday to the Long Island Railroad, 190. And also congratulations to President Rob Free. And unfortunately, the Long Island Railroad and Long Island Railroad commuters and also Metro North commuters deserve a lot better than the 10% discount that is being voted on tomorrow for the monthly city tickets. Now, it's barely an incentive for all these people, and it only makes a trivial difference for all these transit riders, and commuters are still worse off than they were at the beginning of 2023. So we've been pleading over and over again for a weekly city ticket and also a monthly city ticket, which has a free subway and bus transfer included. And we've been hearing more of those calls echoed by other people. Unfortunately, it's really a shame that we weren't seeing those same calls being made when the Atlantic ticket last year, when it was being eliminated, which also had that free subway and bus transfer. So that should be a priority for the Long Island Railroad and Metro North and the MTA in general, getting that reinstated for a city ticket. And the Long Island Railroad, I want to make one thing clear. The Long Island Railroad is not in any way a luxury service, despite claims by some who don't take the trains that it is a luxury service. It's a necessity for so many people, especially those who are in disenfranchised communities. It's a connector for many of those communities as well. And if the Long Island Railroad and the Metro North and the MTA really wants to institutionalize equity and put equity at the forefront of their efforts, restoring the benefits of Atlantic Ticket, the free subway and bus transfer would be a priority. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your remarks. Our final speaker, we will once again try Adam Widenstein.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for accommodating me and the technical issues this morning. Ironically, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was the lack of communication and being able to contact the MTA. Today, I am glad that you absolutely came through accommodating me in this meeting. But whether it be the feedback page, the train time app, it's very rare to get any response, and any response is very like a form letter, usually not related to the inquiry. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the LIRR keeps making statements about using customer feedback and data regarding train adjustments. And in my opinion, there have been very, very few train adjustments the last 14 months, especially on what remains of the Port Washington branch. I mean, it's just continues to be devastating. The lack of trains during key times, no trains between 5:10 and 5:50 out of Penn in the evening. No trains to Woodside or Penn between 7:36 and 8:16 in the morning. And the one train that was added 2 weeks ago, last week, of course, was a vacation. Understandably, a lot of trains were empty, but even 2 weeks ago, nobody is using this train that's added. And I can never get an answer as to what kind of data is used to make these decisions. It always that the conditions as well as the feedback that everybody gives are the exact opposite of any changes or lack thereof the LIR makes, including the debacle back in November with the Port Washington branch, where they made changes and then had to undo them right afterward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your remarks. Madam Chair, that concludes our public comments.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you to this morning's speakers. My name is Blanca Lopez, co-chair, and this month Metro North Rail has the lead. I would also, before we begin, I would like to give a warm welcome to our two new committee members, Dan Garodnick as well as Mark Herbst. I know my co-chair, Sammy Chu, had officially welcomed you last month, but I didn't get a chance to, so I'm going to repeat it again. Moving on to administrative items. The approval of the minutes for last month's March 25th meeting. All of you have had a chance to review them. Are there any corrections or omissions? If not, I move to approve the meeting minutes. Second? Thank you, Sammy. All in favor? The meeting minutes are approved. Moving on to the work plans. Kathy, Rob, are there any changes to your respective work plans?
There are no changes to the Metro North work plan.
And no changes to Long Island Railroad.
Thank you very much. We move on to hear the president's reports. Kathy will go first.
Okay, thank you. Before I get started, I too would like to congratulate Rob on his permanent appointment as president of the Long Island Railroad. I really am thrilled for him and thrilled to be able to continue to work with him in delivering regional rail service to all of our customers. So congratulations to Rob. On the topic of ridership, our ridership continues strong. On April 9th, we set a post-COVID ridership record of 228,390. On that day, for the first time, Metro North and Long Island Railroad, upstairs and downstairs in Grand Central, combined to serve over 250,000 customers in a single day. In March of 2023, Metro North's ridership was 53 million, which represents an increase of 9.3% from last March, representing 75% of March 2019 ridership. And now that baseball season has resumed, our overall ridership figures are being boosted by Yankee homestands, as thousands of fans know that Metro North is the best way to get to the Bronx to go to the game. Both railroads have a work plan item this month on ridership for 2023. Ben Cornelius will be presenting that information for Metro North, and Yanis Takos for Long Island later on in the agenda today. Another boost to Metro North's discretionary ridership is travel to the world-class dining destinations that we have in Metro North territory, and we are proud to continue our partnership with Hudson Valley Restaurant Week. There are many, many restaurants in our region that are easy walking distance from Metro North stations, and from April 8th through April 21st, diners were able to order from special Restaurant Week menus that highlighted all the Hudson Valley has to offer. Hudson Valley Restaurant Week kicked off a few weeks back with a press event at Goosefeather Restaurant in Tarrytown, where I joined Westchester County Executive George Latimer and other restaurant enthusiasts in reaffirming the Hudson Valley's reputation as a culinary destination. Last week, on Tuesday the 23rd, we hosted our first Connect With Us session of 2024 at Fordham. Metro North leaders were there, along with partners from the MTA Office of the Customer and the MTA People Organization. Fordham is one of our busiest reverse commute stations, and our northbound ridership in the morning peak is actually 100% of what it was pre-COVID. At Tuesday's session, we were able to engage with customers regarding our service. We also had information regarding job opportunities at Metro North, and we talked to several people who are interested in career opportunities with us. Last week's celebration of Earth Day provided us with a significant opportunity to reiterate our dedication to environmental stewardship. In pursuit of this objective, MTA has embarked on the creation of a new climate resiliency roadmap. This comprehensive strategy will necessitate a $6 billion investment over the next decade to fortify our infrastructure against the challenges posed by climate change. I was happy to join Chairman Lieber, MTA C&D President Jamie Torres Springer, and other local officials at an event at our Mott Haven facility in the Bronx, highlighting the particular vulnerability of that low-lying location, where all three of our east of Hudson lines converge, as well as the importance of future investments to fortify our system. I'd also note that we were thrilled to receive $20 million in the recent state budget for an initial investment in Hudson Line resiliency. I want to point out, though, that Metro North is not waiting to take action to improve the ability of our system to withstand the effects of climate change. Last month, we highlighted work to elevate tracks near Garrison on the Hudson Line. This month, we want to show another example of our proactive approach. Here's the Harlem Line signal box elevation at milepost 25.7. That signal box is located within the grade crossing starting at Cleveland Street and Lakeview Avenue. This elevation project addressed recurring flooding issues at that location, which have become more frequent and more severe. By elevating the box with additional standard 4-foot signal foundations and repurposing available materials such as reclaimed concrete ties and recycled ballast, we minimize waste and maximize sustainability while protecting this very important asset. This commitment and projects like this underscore our dedication to fostering a more resilient transportation network. MTA C&D is currently in the midst of a large-scale replacement project for the Park Avenue Viaduct. We've briefed the committee on this before. This structure dates back to the late 1800s and carries approximately 750 trains and thousands of customers to and from Grand Central every weekday. Phase 1 of the construction spans from 115th to 123rd Street. Substantial progress has already been achieved, including replacement of 2,200 feet of steel third rail with new aluminum third rail and relocation of signal power feeder and communication cables to support Track 3 and Track 1 bridge replacements. One of two gantry systems, which are specialized overhead structures used for lifting and positioning heavy materials during construction, have been erected. The first weekend bridge replacement outage will commence in the coming weeks, and we have developed a special schedule in conjunction with our colleagues at C&D to support this critical state of good repair project. This month, as one of our speakers noted, marked Autism Acceptance Month, and on April 2nd, Pershing Square was lit in blue, which embodies the railroad's steadfast dedication to fostering inclusion and understanding. Last Friday, April 26th, I was happy to join the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets Commissioner Richard Ball at an event in Grand Central Terminal celebrating the reopening of the Taste New York store back in Grand Central Terminal. The store features food and beverages grown, produced, or processed in New York State. The reopening of the store provides a great amenity not just for Metro North customers, but for Long Island Railroad customers who come upstairs. We're really pleased to see so much new activity in the terminal, especially as our discretionary ridership continues to grow as weather gets warmer. On April 20th, we held a recruitment event open house at Croton Harmon to highlight opportunities for skilled craft opportunities at the railroad. The event was an amazing success. We had anticipated that approximately 300 people would be there, but we actually welcomed 585 potential job applicants to this event, which was just a phenomenal turnout. I want to thank our talent acquisition team from the People Department as well as the Metro North departmental staff that worked so hard to make this event a success. And finally, we got a bit of good news last week. We got the great news that John Klazowski of our Maintenance of Way Department has been recognized by the publication Progressive Railroading as an industry rising star. Yay, Johnny. He's one of only 25 rising railroad employees across the nation to receive this prestigious recognition. He's been a rising star at the railroad since he began as a track worker in the M&W department. For a time, he worked as a field safety manager in the safety department before assuming his current position as Assistant Deputy Director, Maintenance of Way Compliance. His leadership in establishing a new roadway worker protection audit group has led to a remarkable 38% reduction in operational incidents since its inception in 2021. John is well known around the railroad for his spirit of collaboration and his subject matter expertise, and we couldn't be prouder that Progressive Railroading has recognized his contributions to the safety and reliability of our railroad. And with that, I'll take any questions that the committee might have.
Questions? Okay, moving on to Long Island Rail. Rob?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. Before I begin, I would like to thank the Chairman for appointing me Long Island Railroad President on a permanent basis. It has been an incredible journey so far, for which I am truly humbled, grateful, and blessed. I would also like to thank all of you for your support, and of course Kathy for making it a smooth transition. Our organizations will continue to work collaboratively and ensure our region has a world-class rail service. And to our customers, my commitment and dedication to providing a safe, reliable, accessible, and customer-oriented transportation service will not waver. Now to business. Looking at performance and ridership, March total on-time performance, we achieved the 95.95% mark, which was our third best in recorded history. And on to ridership, March 2024 ridership increased 17.2% over March of last year and 18% year-to-date as compared to last year. And non-commutation ridership once again surpassed the same month in 2019, this time by 13.9%. This marks 7 months in a row that we surpassed 2019 ridership and non-commutation. We also achieved the second highest total past pandemic COVID weekday ridership on April 9th, where we accommodated 251,964 customers. It's nice to see all this ridership increasing. And Long Island Railroad customers continue to take advantage of Grand Central Madison service. We are regularly seeing a 60-40 split between Penn Station and Grand Central Madison. It's literally happening several times a week. I believe it was 2 weeks ago, 4 of the 5 days were a 60-40 split, and on the 5th day was a 61-39 split. So customers are definitely gravitating towards Grand Central. And in March, Grand Central Madison ridership reached over 1.5 million customers for the month. That's the highest mark since the opening of Grand Central Madison, and this is all based on loadway data. We also hit an AM peak ridership record to Grand Central Madison with 25,800 customers on March 19th. People are really realizing the benefits of Grand Central Madison. The summer travel season is quickly approaching, and that means our summer timetables will be introduced in time for Memorial Day weekend. The May 20th timetable change will feature our extra service to the East End, but this year we are extending the 5:13 p.m. train from Penn Station to Montauk on summer Thursdays. This is in addition to what normally takes place on summer Fridays. So what we've seen, comparing to historical ridership trends, is that customers now, what used to happen in the past, customers would go out on a Friday and come back on a Sunday. What we're seeing now is customers going out on a Thursday or even a Wednesday and coming back on a Monday and Tuesday. So this schedule adjustment will help accommodate those shifts in ridership. We have also added a new Port Washington branch train to the daily schedule on April 15th. This new train from Great Neck to Grand Central is meant to help alleviate loading on an existing Port Washington train to Penn Station. Both trains will depart at 7:53 from their initial terminals. As always, we'll be watching and analyzing the results on these and all other trains, making adjustments when necessary and feasible. Our efforts to build a better railroad continue as we recently completed 7 grade crossing rehabilitations between Ronkonkoma and Greenport, and 4 others between the Montauk and Port Jefferson branches. I wanted to highlight this effort, in particular the work east of Ronkonkoma, as it also illustrates our efforts to run an efficient railroad. Though this work was originally planned for 6 crossings, we actually completed 7 crossings. The work would have historically taken place off hours, adding additional costs, so we performed the work on weekdays. And the work was completed 3 weeks earlier than planned, which enabled us to return the track to passenger service, lessening the impact to our customers. That is being an efficient railroad. Congratulations and thank you to our engineering team. We are also in the middle of a 4-weekend project to waterproof and repair 11 leaky joints along the Valley Stream Viaduct. This work coincides with many other activities taking place at Valley Stream, and we are confident our customers will notice the positive change once the work is complete. On Sunday, April 21st, our Corporate Safety Department hosted Operation Eastbound and Down, an emergency preparedness drill in coordination with Stony Brook Southampton Hospital, East End Emergency Response Organizations, and East Hampton Town. The exercise took place on and about our right-of-way in Amagansett and simulated a train versus vehicle strike. Excuse me. The exercise is designed to test the emergency planning and response of the various local first responder teams, hospital, and state and county OEMs. Thank you to our safety team and to everyone who took part in this highly successful drill. As you heard from many of our people in attendance, happy birthday, Long Island Railroad. On April 24th, 1834, the Long Island Railroad was chartered, making us the oldest railroad in the country operating under its original name. I was going to give a little history lesson, but in the interest of time, I'll spare you. You can say a lot has changed since our founding, and to honor our birthday, we hosted a celebration last Wednesday at Grand Central Madison. That day, we were joined by labor leaders, customers, former employees, board members Mark Herbst, Andrew Abel, and Randy Glucksman. And of course, Kathy joined us as well. We heard from preeminent Long Island Railroad historian Steve Quigley and former employee Dave Morrison. Historical photos were displayed, and we debuted our special anniversary historical artifact showcase of the Long Island Railroad. Our incredible 190th anniversary video premiered, and if you haven't done so already, we encourage you to come to Grand Central Madison and see these spectacular displays of our history. It was an incredible celebration, and I want to thank everyone who made the day possible, especially the Long Island Railroad 190th Anniversary Committee, led by Yanis Takos, who's in the building today. Here's to another 190 years and beyond. Grand Central Madison has certainly been quite busy lately, and not just in terms of ridership. April is World Autism Month, and to help bring attention to this very worthy cause, Grand Central Madison is being lit up in blue all month long. On April 2nd, Chairman Jano Lieber held an event announcing that the MTA has released an RFP seeking a developer to bring retail and dining to Grand Central Madison. And on April 10th, MTA Arts and Design held an event celebrating the April 24th release of its new book entitled Contemporary Art Underground, written by Arts and Design's own Sandra Bloodworth and Cheryl Hageman. Both were great events and well attended, which allowed us to showcase the magnificent Grand Central Madison. As you know, I'm extremely proud and appreciative of our employees, but it's always nice when others recognize what I witness every day. So on April 13th, our own community relations specialist, Chrisanne Fabio, was recognized by Nassau County and by the Trainville Hobby Depot for her involvement with the community and her tireless work with the TRACS program. Chrisanne has been an outstanding advocate for children's safety for a number of years. Congratulations, Chrisanne. And this month, Grand Central Madison usher Pete Sciolino and training specialist Charter Caladine were honored as ABC7 MTA Heroes of the Week. Chances are you've heard Pete's fantastic station announcements, and Charter does a wonderful job training our transportation department employees. She was also recognized by the MTA during Women's History Month for her mentoring spirit. Thanks for making us proud, Charter, Pete, and Chrisanne, and keep up the incredible work. That concludes my report for this month, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Rob? Okay. Oh, yes, Sammy.
I don't have any questions. I just did want to, formally welcome Rob to the dropping the act and coming to the full presidency. And I'm sorry I missed the celebration. I was away. But I also wanted to just make note of the 60-40, split between Grand Central Madison and Penn Station. And this speaks to you, Kathy, as well, that, that's where the numbers were originally projected and they're really starting to settle in. So although everyone, thought everyone was crazy when it was happening, it shows that, the modeling and the predictions were well, and it's really good to see everything, falling into groove, and it will be really nice to, get something other than a cold ham sandwich too very shortly. So looking forward to that.
Just to add to that, Sammy, if you look at the ridership data, Penn Station has remained relatively flat, or increased slightly since the opening of Grand Central Madison. But ridership is increasing to Grand Central Madison itself. People are choosing to go to Grand Central Madison, and that's where we're seeing the peak ridership increases. So it's incredible to see. I mean, if you go there in the morning, that station is bustling with people, so it's great.
And I personally have embraced the 90-second escalator ride as a moment of zen, which I encourage everyone else to.
We're moving on to the operations reports for both rails. We'll start off with Justin Vanashek for a report on Metro North operations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. The operation report begins on page 12. I am pleased to report that our service delivered rate for March reached 99.9% for the second month in a row. Our system-wide on-time performance for the month was 98.9%, exceeding our goal of 94%. And our on-time performance for the first quarter of 2024 is the highest in Metro North history at 98.8%. In terms of fleet reliability, the mean distance between failures for February was over 637,000 miles, surpassing our goal of 200,000 miles. And year-to-date MDBF is above goal at 373,000 miles. And finally, baseball season is in full swing, and the Yankees opening day service took place on Friday, April 5th, with Metro North providing a variety of extra services to enhance our customer experience. We are providing a range of additional services, including our popular Yankee Clipper trains, providing one-seat rides to and from the stadium on all three lines, catering to both weekday evening games and weekend matchups. We are also operating shuttle trains and facilitating transfers at key junctions such as Grand Central and 125th Street. And to ensure maximum convenience for fans, we've arranged for several additional Hudson Line trains to make stops at Yankees 153rd before and after games. That concludes the remarks, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Justin. Any questions? Yes, Norm.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just want to compliment Metro North on the very high on-time performance numbers. In fact, I don't think you guys, I mean, it's not a question of taking credit or not, but there's not much higher you can go. I believe statistically this is in effect 100% on-time performance. No one would use a dirty word like 100%, but it's a very high, consistent on-time performance, and just pointing out that that's probably not what's going to drive customer behavior going forward. I mean, if you're already at the top, improving on-time performance is really not going to draw us many more customers, so it's more trains is what we're looking for to run to actually attract more customers.
Randy?
Congratulations. Yes, that's quite an amazing accomplishment, and keep up the good work, please.
It's a great team effort.
Thank you, Justin. Now we move on to Tom Coast for a report on Long Island Rail operations.
Good morning, everyone. Total on-time performance for the month of March was 95.9, above goal of 94%, and year-to-date as of March is 95.8, above goal of 94%. For the month of March, 9 branches operated at or above goal, and year-to-date as of March, 10 branches operated at or above goal. For major events, which result in 10 or more late trains, there were 9 incidents for the month of March. The most significant event occurred on March 6 when there was switch trouble at Harold Interlocking. This event resulted in 25 delays, negatively impacting on-time performance by 0.09%. For our fleet performance, the MDBF for the month of February was 172,398 miles, above goal of 150,000 miles, and MDBF year-to-date as of February is 151,903 miles, above goal of 150,000 miles. For service delivery, we completed 99.8% of our trips for the month of March and we've completed 99.5% of our trips year to date. For upcoming work that will impact service, on the weekends of May 4th and 5th and May 18th and 19th, ADA work will take place at St. Albans Station. Buses will replace trains at St. Albans for approximately 48 hours, along with schedule adjustments on the Babylon, Long Beach, Far Rockaway, and West Hempstead branches. Please check the website and Train Time app for updated schedules. That concludes my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments? Okay, moving on to safety. Shelley Prettyman will give the report for Metro North.
Thank you and good morning. Metro North Safety Report is on page 16 of the Performance Metrics book, and I'm pleased to report that Metro North's customer and employee injury rates have continued to show improvement over the prior reporting period. The current 12-month period ends February 2024 and is compared to the prior 12 months ending February 2023. The reportable customer injury rate decreased from 2.23 to 2.00 per 1 million customers, and the reportable employee lost time injury rate decreased from 2.23 to 1.80 per 200,000 working hours. I want to highlight briefly some of the safety education efforts through Metro North's TRACS program. In-person customer and community safety outreach through TRACS reached over 7,000 individuals through the first quarter of 2024. In-person events include educational presentations at schools, libraries, and community events. And those events, of course, are going to be increasing as the warmer months come upon us. And we also do outreach at stations and grade crossings. And that's in addition to contacts through the TRACS website and social media, which already number in the hundreds of thousands for the year to date. That concludes my remarks. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Questions or comments? If not, moving on to Lori Ebbighausen's report. I apologize, Lori.
No, very well done, very well done. Morning, everyone. So our safety report starts on page 30. Our reportable customer injury rate was 2.38 per 1 million customers, and our employee reportable lost time injury rate was 4.38 per 200,000 hours worked. In addition to highlighting the drill, and I do want to acknowledge and especially express appreciation to the MTA Police and Chief Muller, that TRACS program does not happen without the 2 dedicated officers from the MTA Police Force. And I'm also pleased to highlight as well that we're getting 4 dedicated officers for our right-of-way task force. So that support was expanded, and we're truly grateful for that. I also wanted to highlight that on April 10th, in addition to hosting our quarterly, and Metro North and Long Island Railroad meet quarterly with the Federal Railroad Administration Safety Management Team Region 1, we were pleased to host Carl Alexi, who's the Federal Railroad Administration Associate Administrator for Railroad Safety and Chief Safety Officer, who toured our Incident Command Center as well as viewed our Jamaica Central Control Operating Theater. So we were happy to host him on April 10th. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Lori. Moving on to the MTA Police report. Chief Mueller.
Good morning. For the month of March 2024, we had 31 major crimes in the categories. We had 1 grand larceny auto, 1 burglary, 4 robberies, 8 grand larcenies, and 17 felony assaults. Of the felony assaults, 8 of those were perpetrated upon police officers and 4 upon MTA staff. So 12 out of the 17 felony assaults were against MTA workers. And as a result of the really great work that our men and women of the MTAP are doing, we're continuing to summons and arrest and making sure we're enforcing fare evasion. And this is an expected consequence of that felony assaults on police officers will be up. But they continue to do tremendous work regardless, and we're seeing some really great increases in quality of life. Thank you.
Any questions or comments for the Chief's report? If not, thank you. Moving on to agency information items. Kathy, can you take us through items for Metro North?
Sure. As I mentioned in my remarks, there's a work plan item for both railroads for the annual ridership report. So Ben Cornelius is going to deliver that first for Metro North, and then he's going to hand it over to Giannis to deliver for Long Island Railroad.
Thank you, and good morning. Metro North's 2023 ridership was 23.4% higher than it was in 2022. In terms of people, that means we carried 13.3 million more riders last year than we did in the previous year, reaching nearly 70% of our pre-COVID ridership level. In a sign of workers returning to the office, Metro North's commutation ridership was 24% higher than it was in 2022, and non-commutation ridership was 23% higher. In the last 4 months of the year, our non-commutation ridership was actually higher than it was pre-COVID, a signal that a growing number of riders are purchasing traditional non-commutation fare media such as 10-trip tickets. Metro North's service levels in 2023 were increased incrementally and surgically to anticipate and meet returning and rising demand. We initiated such service improvements as the restoration of half-hourly service between Grand Central and Croton Harmon on the lower Hudson Line on both weekends and weekdays. We analyzed and adjusted the schedules of Upper Harlem Line trains serving Southeast Station to eliminate some station congestion and to reduce train delays. We're happy to say it was the first full year of the New Haven Line Super Express trains between Grand Central and New Haven, which make the trip in as little as an hour and 39 minutes. It was also the first year of increased service on the Waterbury branch after we partnered with Connecticut DOT to make significant infrastructure improvements on that line. We increased the number of trains from 15 to 22 on the branch, and with the increased frequencies, the Waterbury branch is now carrying almost 10% more passengers than it carried pre-COVID. We also restored the popular fall foliage leaf peeper trains on the Hudson Line, which on a typical beautiful fall day transport thousands of day trippers from New York City and Lower Westchester to the towns and parks along the Upper Hudson Line, such as Cold Spring, Beacon, and Poughkeepsie, and to the popular trails at Breakneck Ridge. Metro North's ridership growth was driven both by increased return-to-work policies and by attractive new fare offerings, such as the Peak City ticket, as well as by the new connections between Metro North and the Long Island Railroad with the opening of Grand Central Madison. We also see ridership growth for New York Yankees and New York Football Club events at Yankee Stadium, as well as for the concerts there too. Metro North's safety, frequency, and reliability play a significant role in our attractiveness to the region's residents. We operated at nearly 97.5% on-time performance throughout 2023, which provides our constituents with the confidence that we'll get them where they want to go when they want to get there. And we expect that all of these factors will continue to drive further growth in 2024. Thank you, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Okay. If not, we can move on to Long Island's report.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present the Long Island Railroad 2023 ridership overview. The Long Island Railroad finished the year with increased ridership, continuing the upward trend after the end of the pandemic. Ridership was over 65 million customers, going up 24% above 2022. When compared to 2019, total ridership was almost 72% of our pre-pandemic ridership. Commutation ridership reached 26 million customers, an increase of 22% over last year. The gradual return to work in the office and improved on-time performance helped this growth, although it remains 51% of our pre-pandemic commutation ridership. On the other hand, non-commutation has been scoring significant gains, indicating high demand for Long Island Railroad off-peak travel. Non-commutation ridership went almost 26% above 2022, with 40 million customers, nearly matching the 2019 ridership at 98%, which actually was exceeded in the last 4 months of 2023 and continued in 24 for 7 consecutive months. History was made in 23 with the opening of Grand Central Madison on February 27th, offering 41% increased service and new travel opportunities for all customers. All service segments increased, with AM peak and reverse commute service going up significantly. In total, weekday and weekend service increased with 275 additional trains. Service improvements contributed to the ridership growth as well. On-time performance has been increasing steadily, exceeding 95% in several months, and more recently had the best February in 12 years with 96.3%. Schedules were continually monitored and adjustments were made to match changing patterns and reflect customer comments. The report outlines the detailed changes. These improvements also drove customer satisfaction up to 70% in the fall of 23 from 68% in the spring. Looking ahead, the future seems bright, and the Long Island Railroad is expected to increase as the on-time performance and customer satisfaction improve. Commutation ridership will grow as the return to the office rate increases and fare offerings such as the Peak City ticket and the additional discount on monthly tickets continue. With Grand Central Madison, the cross-travel opportunities between Metro North and Long Island Railroad will continue to increase, while non-commutation and discretionary travel is expected to hit new highs with many new events already planned for this year, including the Cricket World Cup in Nassau County in June and the just-announced MTV Awards coming to UBS Arena in September, just to name a few in addition to all local sports games. And of course, Long Island will continue to be a major attraction, boosting summer ridership, visiting North and South Shore popular destinations from the Rockaways to Montauk. That concludes our ridership overview. If there are no questions, thank you very much.
Thank you. Comments, questions? If not, Kathy, are there additional items?
There's one additional Metro North information item. It's the Diversity and EEO report for the fourth quarter. It's in the book, and it will be discussed at the Diversity Committee meeting.
Thank you. The finance reports for the railroads are in the book as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, Rob.
It's okay. Just before I respond to that, I did forget in my quick report that the Long Island Railroad ADA Task Force also was in attendance for the 190th anniversary, so thank you very much for your support. As far as information items, the May timetable change and track work programs will be in there as well as the diversity report.
Thank you so much. As I mentioned before, finance reports are in the book, and there's one procurement for the railroads. Jackie, please take us through the procurement.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. The Long Island Railroad procurement package includes one action this month. This item is an award of a public works contract to Sperry Rail for rail floor testing and joint bar inspection services. The term for this contract is a period of 5 years. The board is requested to approve a joint agency award on behalf of the Long Island Railroad and Metro North Railroad. Work under this contract covers the performance of FRA-mandated rail testing services throughout both railroads' operating territories, utilizing the latest technologies in ultrasonic testing, joint bar detection, and eddy current testing to identify and detect internal and external flaws and fractures in track and rail that may not be visible to the naked eye. These services are a critical element of the railroad's integrity testing program necessary to maintain the track in a state of good repair. Proposals were submitted by Sperry Rail and ProTrax. The selection committee reviewed the proposals in accordance with the evaluation criteria and unanimously determined that Sperry Rail, the incumbent, was best able to meet the requirements of both railroads based on their qualifications and significant resources, and voted to recommend that the contract be awarded to Sperry, as Sperry's proposal provides the best overall value for the MTA. Sperry's initial proposed price for both railroads was in the amount of $43.8 million. Subsequent to negotiations A cost avoidance in the amount of $2.5 million was achieved for the contract. The final award amount for both railroads is approximately $41.3 million for the full 5-year term. I submit this procurement for board approval.
Thank you, Jackie, for your reports. Any questions on this procurement? If not, may I have a motion and a second? Thank you, Mark. Second. Thank you, Sammy. All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. And with that, we will be adjourning this meeting. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion, second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.